Jai Sri Krishna. Last time we saw that Bhagwan gave the example of King Janak, who received Gyan through karma. No magic, just he did karma, he got Gyan through karma. Even after receiving the Gyan, the King Janak continued to perform his duties as a king. He didn't go become a sannyasi. He kept on doing his job as a king. In order to keep order in the kingdom by keeping the people together. Because if he had quit his job as a king, then there will be chaos in the kingdom. This is what we call Lok Sangra. Whatever the noble or the Shresht person, and by the way, the word Seth has its origin in word Shresht. So the noble people, whatever they do, others do the very same thing. They follow in their footsteps. He sets up the standard through his actions. The word Lok Sangra has a deeper meaning. Also, after obtaining the Gyan, there are limits as to which karma can be and which one cannot be relinquished. So after getting the Gyan, there are certain rules. What karma you can relinquish and what you can't relinquish. For this, there are 4 phases of life, ashram. They have been set up in Hindu Dharma for a long time with the limits for each of them. They all have their maryada. Having completed the householder stage, the stage where one also acquires Gyan, one enters into the state where he needs to practice the action of a sannyasi. Therefore, after obtaining the Gyan, one should follow the actions under the Varna Dharma. King Janak and other similar people did not suddenly leave their karma. This is also called Lok Sangra, because this sets an example for others to keep performing their allotted karma under the life phase they are in, whether they are in householder life or they are grahast or vanaprastha, whatever they are in. Then Bhagavan gave his own example by saying that, O Parth, in 3 lokas, I have no duty to perform. There is nothing which I have not obtained or that I need to obtain. Even then, I remain engaged in karma at all times. For if I will not, people will follow my examples, and by doing so, what will happen is described in the next shloka.
Utsideyurime loka na kuryam karma chedaham sankarasya cha kartasyam upahanyam imah prajaha.
Bhagavan says to pull something out with its roots. That's called utsi deyu. Totally pull out. Ukhaad ke phenk dena. Ime loka. That means all creatures in the sansar. Ched means if, aham na kuryat karma. If I will not perform karma. So Bhagavan is telling Arjun that if I do not remain engaged in karma, all 3 lokas will perish. It will be like I just destroyed all 3 lokas. The 3 lokas here are Swarg, Mrityulok and Patal. The Swarg will perish because people will not perform sacred actions, punya. And the Patal will perish because they will not commit karmas which take them to Patal. And the Mrityulok will become extremely painful because there will be no karya karma. People will do whatever they like to do, whatever makes them feel good, that's what they will do. This will result in a creation of sankar or the confused progeny. Nobody will know what to do. And destruction of the praja. I will become responsible for this destruction. He says, I will become responsible for the creation of sankar, humanity, where people will be confused. And this will result in destruction of all humanity. Upahanya ima praja. Earlier, Arjun had brought up the subject of Varna Sankar, or the mixture of the castes, in chapter 1, Shlok 41. But here Bhagavan said, Sankar taking up the karma. So it's become a karma Sankar, not Varna Sankar. Therefore, people will get confused because they won't know what their karma is. Here the emphasis is not on the caste but on karma. In the Shanti Parv in Mahabharata, the caste has not been given much importance also. Bhagavan has said that the four Varna were created by him based on gunas and the karma. This is, he said in chapter 4, in Shlok 13. If someone becomes benefactor, does upkar, good to other people, it is due to the satoguna in him, because satoguna is working in him. In him it is in his character to be benefactor. That is what he is. He may not even know this, he does it automatically. It is by the karma that the caste is decided. Gita teaches us to perform our own karma. Bhagavan says that you need not change your karma. Remember, just remember me while performing your karma. Whatever karma you perform, know that it is important. Know its importance. What is the importance of that karma, what you're doing? Mahatma. And do it with all your heart in it. Don't do it half-heartedly. You got to know what your karma is and what is its importance, and then engage in it and complete it. In the Rajsu Yagna, Bhagavan Sri Krishna picked up the plates after the guests have eaten. He was a Kshatriya, but he knew the importance of this action and performed it in a spirited fashion. Therefore, whatever action we perform, we should do it in Bhagavan's name and with no attachment to it, the action itself or the fruit thereof. The elders and the ones in a responsible position should perform the karma in a pure way and make it an example for others to follow. What did Mahatma Gandhi do? He called the janitors Harijan and he lived among them. He said that the mother does the same for her child. Love and respect these people like you do for your mother. Do not consider them as a low caste people. In a way, they are doing favor to the society by picking up whatever it is that they pick up. Earlier we saw that Bhagavan gave an example of King Janak, who got siddhi through karma. What were these karma? These are called karya karma. In Sanskrit, the word karya does not mean karma, but the karma which is worth performing is called karya karma. In the name of Ishwar. That is what is called karya karma. These are karma performed with no attachment and are Ishwariya karma. Here when Bhagavan says that I will become responsible for the destruction of the society, what he is saying is that all the rules of the society will become extinct. Now here we need to look at how Hindu people lived in the past, ancient past. Then there was no marriage system. One who was powerful used to take the woman he wanted and live like husband and wife. This is borne out in the story of Shwet Ketu, the son of Rishi Uddalak Aruni. When Shwet Ketu was 11 years old, a king came and took away his mother. Shwet Ketu broke up and cried and asked his father as to why this happened. His father said that, "Son, I am too old and you are very young, so we could not protect your mother." So when Shwet Ketu came of age, he became Rishi and set up a system that one man can only keep one woman. That one man can keep only one woman, and until their children are not become of age and leave their home, they have to stay together. We had no rules in this regard at that time. Satyakam Jabal has been another such rishi. There are Vedic richas which bears his name. Rishi is one to whom the Vedic richa are visible floating in the sky. This is done by the power infused into these rishis through Ishwar or their guru, who also has the same power. They made rules that parents must sacrifice for their children. In the modern days, the rule is being neglected by many, and many children do not know even who their father is. This breakdown in the society is causing great deal of problems. This is what Arjun was saying in the first chapter, that when many men will be killed in the war, their wives will be taken by other men, and this will create Varna Sankar. Such a situation came up when Bhagavan Sri Krishna was leaving to his abode, Paramdham. Then the four-headed Brahma came to Bhagavan and requests that, "Bhagavan, the Dwapar Yuga is ended, and now you will leave to your abode. From here, please. I am preparing for your return." By then it was already 12th day in Kali Yuga. Bhagavan then summons Arjun and gives him an embrace, goodbye type embrace. By doing so, Bhagavan takes away all the powers from Arjun. The powers which Arjun had received was that of Narayan. Then Bhagavan asked Arjun to escort all the women to Hastinapur. So when Arjun was going through what today is the state of Haryana, nomads attacked and took away the women. At that time, Arjun was powerless because all his powers were taken away. Those nomads did not live by these rules. Bhagavan is giving the reply to Arjun's question about the Varna Sankar here. Here Bhagavan is saying that if I stop doing my karma, then everyone will leave their karma and will be like sannyasi, because a sannyasi doesn't do any karma. Then they will live as a brahmachari, and they will, if they happen to have offsprings, because they will not follow the actions of sannyasi even, their offspring will have no caste. For this reason in India there are some castes they have come up. These are Giri, Puri and Bharati. In India these are considered very high castes. These are the caste of the sannyasis. Those whose ancestors roamed all over India were called Bharati. Those who left everything and lived in cities were called Puris, and those who lived in the mountains were called Giris. So the offspring of these took on their last name. When these people married, they gave themselves to Gotra. Their Gotra is called Goswami. This Gotra has three castes, Giri, Puri and Bharati. According to Gita in today's world, everyone has left their karma. If you follow Gita, then everybody has left their karma. And they are all engrossed in business of making money. That is the bottom line now. The result is karma sankar. This is slowly causing the decline in society. In today's world, the caste has no importance since the viewpoint has changed only towards making money. Having talked about Lok Sangra, Bhagavan now is talking about how the wise and the unwise perform karma. The next two slokas are on this topic. They do not get the attention they should, but they are important.
Saktah karmanya vidvamso yatha kurvanti bharata kuryad vidvams tatha saktah chikirshur loka sangraham na buddhi bhedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam जोषयेत् सर्वकर्माणि विद्वान् युक्तः समाचरन्.
Bhagavan says, Bharat, O Arjun, yatha, the way in which avidvanso, ignorant people with no jnana, karmani sakta kurvanti, perform karma with attachment in it, with the desire for its fruit. So one without jnana does the karma. How they do the karma? They do karma relentlessly, with all their heart to get the fruit. Kuryat viddvans asakta. Similarly, in the same way, with the same steadfastness and same enthusiasm like the Ajnani shows in his karma, the Jnani performs karma with no attachment to its fruit. He is doing it for Parameshwar and for what? For he is doing it for Lok Sangraha, keeping people together because it has to be done. So the Jnani performs the karma with the same devotion and enthusiasm without attachment as the one who is a Jnani is doing karma for the fruit of its action. So the big difference is that in the two, Jnani has no attachment to the fruit of the action or its fruit. But a Jnani, he does it for the fruit of action. In general, people procrastinate when it comes to doing work to help others. We can do it tomorrow, it can wait. However, if one is to obtain something from it for himself, he will even put an alarm clock to get up early in the morning and run to get the things done so he doesn't miss the opportunity. Good example is this last Black Friday. People run like crazy. They go, I want to get this thing. So those who perform karma to get something are ajnani. And the jnani does it for everyone else with the same devotion, although he has no selfish motive in that karma. Is it making clear? Now, having seen the difference in the way an ajnani or a jnani perform their karma, Bhagavan tells what is the responsibility of jnani is whenever he comes across an ajnani person. When one gets to know a little jnana, not total jnana, but little jnana, they tend to see fault in others. This is natural for a common person. If the jnani does this, it shows his ego surfacing, which if not corrected can cause his downfall. So Bhagavan says, Ajnanam karma sanginam. Those who are ajnani are steadfast in their karma, meaning a sacred karma, not just any karma, a sacred karma what they're doing. Like some may be worshipping Devi or doing yagna, worshipping Christ, whatever they are doing worshipping. The jnani shall not unsettle their mind by making comments on their actions and trying to correct them. The reason being that the mind is like milk. A few drops of lime juice will alter and spoil the milk. Therefore, let them do whatever they are doing. Your comments may create a doubt, sanshay, in their mind. The doubt tends to destroy a person because he may leave what he is doing and does not know the other part what he should be doing. Therefore, Bhagavan says, Na buddhi bhed janaya. Do not create doubt in minds of those ajnanam karma sanginam. Those who are ajnani, who are attached to their karma. Then what he shall do? He says, Bhagavan says, Joshiyet karmani vidyans yukta samacharam. He, the jnani, shall joshiyet, means help them complete all of their karma, sarva karmani, whatever they are doing, whatever they are engaged in doing, what worship they are doing. He should work side by side with them to complete their karma. He shall assist them. But how shall he assist them? Yukta samachara. It is not that he starts to take pleasure in those karma. Rather, he shall participate endued with his jnana buddhi. He shall not at any time let himself be swayed to the karma of the other who he is helping. For example, having married, when the daughter leaves home, the father gives a hug to his daughter. But it is different from the embrace of her husband. In the case of father, it is affection for the daughter, whereas in other case, it is love of the husband. So their action is the same, but there are two different things behind it. Although the acts are same, but the two actions are performed with totally different feelings. Same way Bhagavan says that the jnani helping a jnani should not let his buddhi be altered and start to think that he can also get something out of the jnani's karma. He should stay on his path and help the jnani. He has to do this exercising extreme care not to let his buddhi waver and with no attachment to the action whatsoever. So if he is helping someone do certain things, doesn't mean that he should also follow the same thing. Let the other person do, you are just as a helper. He should do it as a gesture only. So why should he do this in the first place? If that's what it is, then why should he do it? He does it for lok sangra, because the other person, his friend, his acquaintance, he's helping him. It's lok sangra. This was explained in Shlok 25. So Jnani, by not showing up his Jnana and helping the others, will slowly move them from a Jnana karma to the path of Jnana. Takes long time, but it will slowly happen. Now, who is the person who unsettles others' mind? It is the enemy who causes this by creating doubt in the mind of the other. Therefore, if a jnani does not do it correctly, and creates doubt in the mind of the other, he will end up destroying that person by creating doubt. Thus, he will become an enemy instead of a friend, technically, where he was to be a friend instead. This he does because his ego appears in the equation. If the ego surfaces, he will end up doing the wrong thing. And he end up not knowing, he will end up destroying the other person's faith in whatever they are doing. Bhagavan takes this up in the next shloka, and he explains the difference between the wise and the unwise person.
प्रकृतेः क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः अहंकार विमूढात्मा कर्ताहमिति मन्यते.
All actions are being performed by three gunas. Of the Prakriti. The fool whose mind is deluded by egoism thinks I am the doer. This is the translation of this shloka. So, O Mahabaho, he who knows Tattva. So this next shloka, what he's saying?
तत्त्ववित्तु महाबाहो गुणकर्म विभागयोः गुणागुणेषु वर्तन्त इति मत्वा न सज्जते.
Now, this shloka is very interesting. It tells a lot about what karma is and how it is done and who does it actually. So Bhagavan says, O Mahabaho, he whose tattva or the true insight into the respective domain of guna, he who knows tattva. What is the meaning of tattva? Do you know the tattva? Means sar, the essence of it, what actually is. So the one who knows the tattva or the true insight, he has the true insight into the respective domain of gunas and their karma. Now remember, now pay attention here. Guna and their karma. He is not saying your karma. He is saying guna and their karma. Here he is also called Tattvit. Tattva means essence, Vit means knower. He knowing that guna in the form or shape of senses, mind, etc. So we all have mind and senses. So they are form of gunas. They reflect their different gunas. They merely move around and among gunas in the form of sense object. Guna, guneshu, vartante. So gun is moving around within the gun. So one place the gun is the mind and the senses, and the other place the gun becomes the object of the senses or the object of perception. Does not get attached to them. The ones who knows this, tattvavit, the ones who knows this truth as to how gunas how guna act, he does not get attached to this karma. Bhagavan tells as to what is the difference between the unwise and the wise. This is very important for us to understand correctly. So here, the one who is called Vimud Atma or the deluded Atma. Now what does the word Atma means here? Atma has different meanings. Here, Atma is Antahkar, deluded Atma, Man Buddhi Chitta Ahankar. When that becomes deluded, mohit, that's where the moh develops. A fool has been deluded by the ego. So when antakaran is deluded, the person becomes fool. He is deluded by his ego. Not knowing what is happening, he takes the ownership of the karma. This person doesn't know how the karmas are happening, but he says, yes, it's my karma. I should get its fruit. This results in bondage because karma is the action and its fruit is the consequence of that action. Okay? For every action there is a consequence. So if one takes the ownership of the action, he must face the consequence thereof. So what it is that this Vimula Atma or the ignorant, he is about ignorant. About what? This is given in the first shlok. Prakrite kriya manani gune karmani sarvasha. Bhagavan says, karmani, all karma, every karma that happens. Karmani is the plural of karma. So all the karmas, sarvasha, everywhere, all around. Kriyamanani. This is an adjective to the karma and means have been and are performed by. By whom? Prakriti guna. By the three gunas of Prakriti. So it's very clear here that all the karma, anywhere which is performed by the three gunas of Prakriti. So one whose Atma has been deluded by the ego, which also is the form of Prakriti. Ego is also part of the Prakriti, comes from Prakriti. What does he do? Karta aham it manyate. He says that I have performed this karma because he doesn't know the truth. Because he is eager to get the fruit of that action. He is really dying to. I got to have that fruit of the action. I need that. Not knowing that it is just the consequence of the action performed by the guna, not by him, by the gunas. But by saying that he performed the action, what he did? He lied. He didn't because he doesn't know. That is why Bhagavan has said repeatedly that one should not be attached to the fruit of action. Instead, present it to me first. So when you present something to Bhagavan, it's purified, it will not affect you adversely. So you get it as a prasad. Bhagavan feels happy because this person has done according to my instructions. That's why in old days, nowadays people don't do it. A lot of Christian people do it too. They say their prayers before they eat. Or any action you start, say your prayer. In India they say, when are you going to do Sri Ganesh of something? What are you going to do? It means when you're going to start some project. So here Sri Ganesh means when you're going to do the puja to start the project. So everything used to be done that way. It's slowly disappearing. So what are these three gunas which perform all the actions? These are the three modes in which the Prakriti or Maya runs the sansar. Everything that goes on in sansar is done by Maya. So the gunas of Prakriti have already made these karma. They all have been made by these gunas. All we do here is to experience the consequence. Karma has been done by gunas. We are here only to experience the consequence of the karma. But the one who has been deluded by the ego says that I have done it. Let us take an example of this. Say someone prepared rice pudding, kheer, and says that she prepared this kheer. This is her doing. Now the statement is incorrect. because in it there are the gunas of each of the ingredients of this pudding: rice, milk, and sugar. The Prakriti, while creating these ingredients, put in their gunas into it. Like rice has certain gunas, Prakriti put that guna when the rice was produced. Sugar has certain gunas, sweetness. Prakriti put that in sugar. Therefore, Prakriti guna, these actions have already been done by gunas. They are already done. But person's ego makes her say that she prepared it. If she prepared it from water alone, with no other ingredient, she will be the doer. It will be correct that she did it. Like the three devata gave Sati Anasuya some pebbles and asked her to prepare pudding. She did it. In this case, she became karta. Here she did it with her own powers, or the power given to her by Bhagavan Sri Dattatreya. But the ordinary person cooked it with Prakriti's power of fire. Even in cooking, they use the fire heat, and that is Prakriti. Her doership is limited only to the recipe, and that she learned that recipe from someone too. So even here, there is no doership. In the case of karma, the doership of the jeev is only in thought to start a karma, thought process. When thought comes to your mind, that's the only thing you do. From there, the three gunas of Prakriti take over. Everything is being done by three gunas. But due to the ego, the person says he did the karma. His delusion is due to the ego, due to which he considers himself to be the doer. The ego always wants to show its importance. That's the quality of the ego. More a person lacks in something, higher is his ego. The ego in him says, listen to me, I am something, because he doesn't have anything. He's got to show off. Those who call Taimur Lank a lame person, he destroyed them all. His ego made him do that. In the times of Ram, Kaikai, who had little importance in the kingdom, was instrumental in sending Ram and Sita in exile. That was her ego. Her shortcomings express their ego in this way. So when a person has little or no qualities, their ego surfaces, because that's all they have. And they are unable to suppress it, since they have been deluded by it. In the 11th century, there was a poet in India by the name of Rajshekhar Yayavat. He said that no one creates a new song or poetry. Everybody takes something, some words, and gives them a different form. In the childhood, everyone steals something. But as they grow up, the habit of this takes a different form. Another famous writer said that people give a new form to the old idea, like an old wine, putting it in a new bottle. A great poet acknowledges this upfront, like Kalidas and Tulsidas did. So ego is one of the ways that Jeev becomes Vimud Atma. There are more ways in which Jeev becomes Vimud Atma. These are in chapter 2, for example, Shlok 7, Arjun says, Dharma Sammudha. Dharma Sammudha Cheta, his chit has become mood because of the dharma. Thus, the subject of dharma can cause moha in one's consciousness. Another way the delusion is caused is by object of the senses, indriyartha vimoodatma. The other way is sarva jnana vimoodatma. In chapter 3 is coming up, 32, slok 32. And another way is prakriter guna samudha. The person becomes moved by the guna of the prakriti. But here is ego caused delusion. The ego, in this case, delusion is being caused by the ego of the person. Here Bhagavan is telling Arjuna in depth that all karma have already been completed by the gunas of the prakriti. The fool says that he has done these and get in the bondage. See, in 11th chapter, Bhagavan will tell Arjuna, look at all these people. I already killed them. You are only going to do the job of being a nimitt. So karma already has been done. Who did it? Gunas. But the wise one says, he stays clear of all this. He doesn't want any part of this. He doesn't want to take ownership. Why so? Bhagavan is telling in the next slok, in this slok, there is the answer to the last slok.
Prakriter guna sammudhaha sajjante guna karmasu tana kritsna vido mandan kritsna vinna vichalayet.
Before we go into that slok, we will go into something else. The slok which was before this 28th, Tattvittu Mahabaho. So, he's saying, Arjun, the knower of the Tattva, or the knower of the secret or the mystery of the role of the gunas in karma, guna karma vibhag. He knows how karma happens due to guna. Everyone comes in sansar due to some guna. All of his actions happen under their guna. Some people are very calm and all their work continues to happen very calmly. On the other hand, some people have to speak loud. Their work becomes like a battlefield. In this way, everyone has they are under different gunas. It is quality, but the mode of prakriti. A person can do satoguni karma if he has satoguni. So what does the tattvavit know? He knows that guna guneshu vartante. The gunas are working within the gunas. And knowing this, what does he do? Iti matva na sajjate. Knowing this, he stays clear of the field of action. He doesn't get involved. He does not merge into it. For example, if there is a fight going on, the wise one avoids the path. Says, I must stay clear of, I'm not going there. But the one whom Rajoguna is of high preponderance and is acting up, he will go to see the fight. What's happening there? He's curious. And then one with the tamogun, he'll go there and he'll get into the fight. So, what could be the result? The one in whom the Rajogun is active become a witness, and the one who is Tamogun is active, he gets arrested or even get killed. So it is their gunas that take them and get them to do what they are doing. knower of the tattva, that the tattvavit knows when his guna mixes with the other guna, one guna mixes with the other guna, what will be the resulting karma. So continuing this, the same theme, Bhagavan further says, Prakrite guna sammudha, sajjate guna karmasu, tan krishna vido mandan, akrishna vinna vichale. Those who are deluded by the gunas of Prakriti remain attached to those gunas and their karma. So here again, gunas and their karma. The gunas keep hold on him by keeping him engaged in their karma through his ego. So how is the guna keep person under control? It makes him think that this is your karma and keep him engaged into it. But the karma, who is doing the karma? Is the guna doing the karma. Due to ego, this person says, I am doing this, and he feels good about it, and he's going to keep doing it. This is my action. The man is with the perfect knowledge, krasnavit. Krasna means all around, totally. Vit means knower, who knows everything, should not unsettle the understanding of those mandan, the other people who are not knowers, they are mandan, they have dull wit. Their their thinking is very dull, they don't think very quickly, and are akrasna with imperfect knowledge. They have knowledge, but it's not perfect knowledge. Some people become sammood by the effect of gunas of Prakriti. They are otherwise not so. At the time under the influence of the gunas, when they are under the influence of the gunas, they have become deluded for that short period of time. Remember that Prakriti is so powerful that only Ishwar can control it. Nobody else has control over Prakriti. So the three gunas of Prakriti are very powerful. The word Prakriti is also used for person's nature. Here it is not what it means. Prakriti is Maya. Generally the people are like what they are. They are akrasnavid. Most people are akrasnavid. They do not have complete knowledge. How are these people without complete gyan? How are they? They are mandan, mandabuddhi. And their intellect is slow, not very sharp. So one who is krasnavid or having complete gyan should not unsettle their mind. He should leave them alone. The reason is that they will not understand correctly. Now, how do the guna cause delusion? We will take a simple example. There is a person who has rajogun active in him, and there is a beautiful young lady. This man, upon encountering this woman, is overcome by her beauty. Now, the beauty of that woman is a guna of the Prakriti. It's not her, it's guna of the Prakriti. She may not look beautiful to another man, but here the rajogun in this man causes attraction towards that woman. And at this moment, he is completely taken over by the beauty of that woman, which he sees in her. Then what happens? This man becomes attached to and dependent on the guna of the Prakriti, which caused the beauty. Now he is ready to even die for her. The beauty and ugliness are due to the gunas of the Prakriti, but some lose their mind as an effect of the guna, which is acting in them. This has caused wars. It was the beauty of Draupadi in Mahabharata, that of Sita in Ramayana, and Cleopatra and so on and so forth. So this is one way person gets deluded. This comes under calm. There is another way. This comes under greed or lobe. Both calm and lobe are born out of Rajogun. Calm being attraction towards the living, and lobe is the attraction towards inanimate. Lobe too causes delusion. People do all sorts of unscrupulous actions under the influence of greed. An example of calm is in Bill Clinton, and greed for power in Richard Nixon. We had big presidents, both of whom were very smart otherwise. This shows the power of guna. Guna is so powerful, it can do whatever it's going to want to do. Now, by being dependent on money, property, or beauty, gave rise to karma. They ended up doing some karma. Due to this karma, the person gets deluded, and the karma is now attached to them. It's tagged on to them. This is your karma. Now you must face the consequence of this karma. He is now in bondage. This is what bondage is. He is now tied by the rope of the guna and becomes dependent on it, cannot get away from it. They are now immersed in guna and karma. Sajjate guna karmasu. Because they have little knowledge, the most dangerous person is the one who knows little. In Farsi, there is a word called neem, meaning half. So there is a saying, neem hakim khatre jan. There are three types of people. One who knows nothing. Second person, one who knows little bit. And the third person is completely knowledgeable. You can explain to one who has no knowledge and to the one who has complete knowledge, but not to the one with little knowledge. Bhartari Hari has said, knowledge, you can nicely explain to one with no knowledge. Ya agya sukh maradhya. Sukhataram aradhyate visheshagya. The one who is visheshagya, who is very knowledgeable, and you can explain to the one with great knowledge. But Gyan Lav Durvigdham Tam Naram Brahmapi Naranjayati. But who has little knowledge, to such a person even Brahma cannot explain anything. He won't even listen to Brahma. If Brahma came down and tried to explain to him, he won't agree. Out of these, so there are three types of people. Out of these, one who knows little is called Akrishna Vida. That's what the meaning of Akrishna Vida is. Who doesn't have complete knowledge. In Gita, it is explained that man becomes deluded in many ways, and he makes no effort to understand Gyan. So what the one with the Gyan should do? This is in Shlok, which is coming up next.
Mai sarvani karmani sannyasyadhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvaraha.
So far, Bhagavan has described the ways in which the gunas of the Prakriti causes delusion in human mind and compels one to perform karma, which results in bondage. In this Shlok, Bhagavan has described the ways to perform karma. So following these ways, one can perform karma and not get into the bondage. This is very important here. He is explaining this to Arjun, since Arjun did not want to get into the war for the fear of bondage, from which he will not be able to free himself. That was his fear. So Bhagavan says to him, Mai sarvani karmani sannastha adhyatma chetasa. So the word is adhyatma chetasa. With your chit established in me, the Atma of all, surrender all your karma to me. Mai sarvani karmani. This is the first requirement. So first thing what person has to do, become adhyatma chetas. You need to establish your chit into me, the Parmeshwar. Do not place your mind on bodily pleasures of the world, worldly pleasures and pains. Most of us remain engaged in the bodily pleasures and pains and remain engaged in sansar. Adhyatma Chetas is one whose desire has moved away from worldly pleasures and is in Atma. But most of us think that if we moved away from all this, what others will say? Those whose thought is centered on object of senses, they are looking outwardly, not inside. But from the very beginning, all the rishis have been saying, pay attention to your Atma. The body keeps changing constantly. On this, in Kathopanishad, chapter 2, 4th Valli, it is said, the senses are made to look outside. Therefore, they look outwardly, not inside, not towards Atma. So by nature the senses are there to look outside. A person who gets jnana, he looks in the opposite direction. He looks inward, although his eyes are open. People will think he is looking outside, but he is not looking. His thought is inward. He is desirous of Amrit. He is rising above the mortal world, which is why he is looking inside. Others are like children who through their senses run after the worldly desires. They are running outside towards death. Those who are looking outwardly all the time, they are running towards death. The net of death, they are spread outside. All karma of the sansar ends up in death. The jnani knows the Amrit. The Rishi is saying here, the jnani knows the Amrit, and he knows that he can rise above the sansar. Unlike others who pray for what they don't have, and most of the things are not eternal, they pray for the worldly things. This person prays for becoming eternal. He doesn't care for other things. This is why he looks towards Atma. So here Bhagavan is saying what he's saying is to first become Adhyatma Chetas. This is the first step person has to take. Only then you will be able to dedicate all karma into me. First you have to know me, Bhagavan says. So become Adhyatma Chetas. Adhyatma means, Adhi means to depend on. And Atma, Adhyatma, be adheen, be dependent on Atma. Now who is the Atma here? Bhagavan says, I am your Atma, depend on me. Know me first. In same Upanishad it is said, Shreyas Preyas Manushya Metasto. Shrey and Prey, which we have talked about in second chapter, both are presented to the man. The wise person evaluates both of them. He doesn't just instinctively throw something away. He evaluates both of them. The wise person will evaluate the one with the steady mind, Dhir Purush advances towards Shreya. The one with dull intellect, who was that person we just talked about? Akarsnavida. Mandan, he goes towards prey for the fulfilling of the needs of the body, Yog Kshem. And Bhagavan says in Gita later on, he will say that Yog Kshem Bahamyaham. Those who come to me, they are Yog Kshem, I take care. They don't worry about Yog Kshem, daily needs. The one with the steady mind knows that he will get the prey anyway. Whatever his karma is coming in, he is going to get that. Those who pursue the prey have been called Akarsnavid in Shlok 29. So the first effort is to become Adhyatma Chetasa. Then second effort is to surrender all karma into Parmeshwar. How to do this we will go into the next time. Shri Krishna.